Oh shit, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing out there? This is Intergalactic Interviews, and this is episode 125. How are you doing, folks? Are you having a good week? I think you are. We're having a fucking tremendous week. And why? Because we're sitting here with the ridiculous Ryan Williams. We're here with Ryan Williams and Ronnie Radio, as Clay St. Thomas was called that. We're here with Ryan Williams. And before we tell you all about the things that he thinks and dive into his mind, goddamn. That's a hell of a dive, I'm pretty sure. Staring into the eyes of the man right now.
You can't dive in things that shallow. You'll get a head injury.
As we're looking at him dead in the eye, I think it's about the time that we tell you about an extra special opportunity for our listeners and viewers only. If you go to floathouse.ca right now, you will be able to go to the premier destination for isolation tank experiences. What does that mean? Well, let me tell you right now. Isolation tanks are an excellent way to spend your time. It's an excellent way to relax. It's an excellent way to rejuvenate your mind. Actually, your spirit, if you really want to get deep into it. But it's just a good way to just relax. It's really cool. And if you want to try floating, maybe you've never floated before, you can use our podcast promo code, which is Michael Saavedra.
I Podcast.
God damn right, it's I Podcast. And you get 20% off your next float. It's for what the value is of what you're getting, that's an amazing deal. Seriously, 20% off is an amazing deal. You can go check out prices online. You can check out scheduling. You can book your float online. It's very easy to do. Just use our podcast promo code. And if you go to floathouse.ca right now, you'll be able to check out all the information that you're probably asking yourself right now. Like, what is a float? Why do you float? Well, let me just say this. It's fantastic. It's like a spa for your mind. It's tranquil. It's easy. We love it, and we love to do it. We float. You should float. Try it out. It's real easy. Use our podcast promo code IIPodcast at floathouse.ca, Saavedra. What the F? And here we are. And this just totally makes sense that we have Ryan Williams here to help us consume this lovely beverage. What do we have going on this week?
This week we are drinking Off the Rail Brewing's Belt Up ESB.
Oh, yes.
It is their bronze medal winning at the Canadian Beer Awards English Special Bitter Beer.
Cheers, brother. Award-winning. Hey, award-winning. Just like maybe the second overall best in the city podcast 2017 Intergalactic Interviews, according to the West Ender.
Pretty good.
Well, it's no geeks versus nerds or whatever that
Valid.
whatever that dumb thing is.
They were nice to us. They reached out to us on unsolicited online. And they
Geeks versus nerds?
Yeah, they reached out and were like, hey, so honored to be in this class of whatever. And I was like,
They
wow.
do like live debates.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool, though.
I know someone that's been a part of one of them. Yeah, it's like it's just like a pop culture debate.
Right?
Yeah, it's basically, yeah. Oh, do you want to see a live version of internet comments?
Love YouTube.
No, if they made I'm being very snarky. I was hanging out with past guest Alex Sparling as he talked about comic
Friend of the
books
show,
last-
Alex Sparling, who called me annihilated drunk last night.
He died. He called me as well.
He called you last night? Dude,
He ended up coming to my place because I could tell he was like, he was like, okay, normal, like, you got to just eat one for a friend, and like I had him over.
I asked him 3 times if he was okay over the course of 15 minutes, and he was like, you have Ryan on tomorrow. Let me tell you, you got to talk to him about history.
I can't tell that story. I know the story he wants me to tell. I can't. It's too. It makes it's very name droppy, and I don't come off well in the story.
It's okay. I'm gonna.
I like.
That's why everyone wants to hear it right now. No, just kidding. But I'll tell you what. Through the magic of the internet, in a couple years, right now, as I'm saying this, we're gonna stop for a moment here. And here's the story. And then you'll tell it in the future, right there. Boom. And I'll do a little compilation of you saying, oh, I can't talk about it.
Oh, yeah.
And then it'll just go into it. And all this will be cut out.
Yeah. If I ever quit comedy or like become somewhat, like if I become Googleable or I quit comedy, I think I can tell the story. But other than that, it just is. It comes off as like a little gross.
Those are the best stories.
I was say, that's a good story.
I bet you the gamble on this is worth it. But I won't hold you to it. I'll tell you what. So we already talked about Off the Rail then? Yeah?
Yes, we did. Good? Belt Up ESB.
So thankful that they sponsor us, and we are really grateful.
Is it bitter?
Yeah,
it's delicious.
Yeah, it's very tasty.
I completely just like stole that. I'm like, let's talk about our podcast, second overall. Choose a new one. Shout out to
Stop
Graham
Podcasting.
Clark. Yeah, shout out.
The best my favorite podcast.
They're
It's so good.
Hey, how fucking dare you in our own
but
house?
man, like,
In our own house, even. No, I'm just kidding. We are the first ones
float
that
house.
were like, yeah, in our float house.
in our float,
Yeah.
you come into my float
Yeah.
house.
We were the first ones that when we were told we won, they don't tell you obviously who else won, but
Yeah.
we knew right away. We're like, stop podcasting yourself, right? Because if someone else won, that wouldn't even be right. Those guys are like, first of all, they're great guys, and then second of all, they've been doing it so long, they deserve all those accolades.
Yeah,
Like,
they've been
you know,
they've been podcasting longer than Mark Maron or like Joe Rogan
Yeah.
or Comedy
They're like
Bang Bang,
9
like the ones that you would
9
like
years
to-
now or something.
Yeah,
Well, they're at what, like almost 500 episodes, pretty close to.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
insane, man. Like,
And yeah, 10 years next year. And they're live podcasts, like fucking, I was at the one for JFL Northwest where they had John Doran.
Oh,
And
yeah.
at the Biltmore, it was like sold out. Like people were like sitting in like the up.
Right? Yeah,
like,
exactly.
And they have a ton of American fans. It's the best
is
Canadian
awesome.
podcast for sure.
yeah, I think that they do such a great job with it. They do. It's like a completely different format, really, than what the
Yeah,
fuck
and
we're
it's
doing.
it's
Yeah.
all why it's like a hug. Like it's
Yeah.
it's like kind of a wholesome
Yeah.
podcast. Like you can tell it's not like it doesn't go too blue or it's not too dark or anything like
Yeah.
that. So it's like it's kind of something like if you were on like comedian Kevin Banner told me when he was like did it, it was like it's great because you like it, but it's also something you could show your mom and dad and not have to worry about it.
That's an interesting description. Kevin Banner said that.
Yeah, Kevin Banner. Yeah,
He's a smart fellow.
he is.
We like him. Yeah, but it's we do such totally different stuff anyway. That's why
Yeah.
I was like,
We're way shittier. Like just
We're
in
way
our
shittier.
emotions.
we're
Like,
first
it goes
of all,
up and down.
We're
Like
third rate. We're a third rate, second overall show. That's the best part about it.
Third rate, second.
Yeah, we're a third rate show, second overall.
What does that mean?
Oh,
I'm not sure either.
Yeah.
I think
only MD knows.
I think third rate
Is that a meat from a mean iTunes
Or is it like a
comment?
third-rate ship of the line? Like we don't have as many big guns.
No, like third
Oh.
third rate like and your career's at the point where you have to do this show kind of thing, like the like low
Yeah,
quality,
yeah,
like
yeah.
we're a third rate, second overall show. Don't worry about it.
Oh, I can't.
And of course, we're being very self destructive here in these comments, but like realistically, we're not taking it too fucking seriously. Because like, what the fuck does that mean anyway? It's like it was like a nice moment, like oh you won this award, and it's like cool. And then the next moment is like, okay, now what? And you're like, literally zero changed. We had like
Shots after.
We had shots, and then like a couple people were like, that was awesome. We're like, yeah, cool. I mean, it's better than no award, I
Yeah,
guess.
did you get over or under 25 Facebook congratulatory messages?
yeah, that's exactly it. It's like, did your social media explode? Not in the way we wanted. So what happened? yeah. So what happened? Oh, I don't know. I guess it doesn't really mean anything. I'll tell you what, Ryan.
Yeah.
You're a fucking funny guy. That's why you're here.
Whoa!
Whoa, zany, crazy dude. We're here with the ridiculously rockin' Ryan Williams.
Oh, happy to be here. Good to be here. Completely dead inside.
Can we talk about this? We talked a little bit before the show, but I have to bring this up. So like today on social media, I saw a photo of you tagged Chris, the wonderful, the funny friend of the show, Chris Griffin.
Yeah, it was a show at a bar in Chilliwack called Corky's Irish Pub.
All right, it's already
which
good.
Doesn't
It's a
sound
great
like
movie.
the name of
It's a
it.
great
It's very
movie.
Irish.
Yep, it's already.
Is it though? Because someone was trying to be like, "Well, that's Cork," because the city Cork, but you wouldn't be like, "Welcome to Dublinese."
Dublin, yeah. Shitty.
Belfasties.
Welcome to Belfast. That's
a good point. Well, Chris Griffin's fucking hilarious, and he posts this photo, and it's just a dude wearing two hats.
So, oh man, there's a story for that. So this bar is like this is the epitome of a rowdy show, but it wasn't. It was like good rowdy, or no? Well, it was like a lot of people like bombed and struggled, and like 100 people talked over them, and you can't really see it in the picture, but there's like a balcony too. So it's like it's a pretty intimidating situation. Tiny bit. And yeah, it's pretty packed, and So yeah, that there was like tables. Most of the people were there for the comedy show, but they didn't charge admission.
Right.
So that can create problems. And two hats was one of those problems. It was two hats because I overheard this in the washroom as like a guy like.
So hold on, I should explain the photo for a second. So there's this guy jumps on stage with Chris Griffin.
Yeah, it's like a Tyler the Creator, David Letterman selfie situation where Chris is taking a selfie of him. This is like mid-performance. And the guy just walked up on stage and then kept trying to grab the mic. And Chris knows better. Chris has been around the block. You never give up the mic.
Right.
Never give up the mic. But the guy then drunkenly sang like some Newfie song.
Jesus.
And then
was
just-
it good?
Wow.
No, oh man, dude, it was crazy. It was like what's his face, Buccelli. Like it was just no, it was awful. It was fucking terrible. You can understand.
I'm like, wow, the quality.
Yeah.
Jesus.
How was the crowd during that time?
Yeah.
They're
They're
just
just
laughing
like-
their balls off or like just
It
pissed
was,
off.
yeah, just more like what the fuck is happening?
Yeah,
like,
no shit.
Even the crowd like kind of clued in, and those are tough. Like yeah, so people are there for the show and people are not there for the show. So two hats. He was. I overheard him explain it.
Two hats.
I overheard him explain it was his 60th birthday, and he had two of his friends drive in from Kamloops to meet him at that bar because it was close. And then he just started drinking, and then a table of girls was around, like because they have kind of dining hall seating kind of thing,
Like
So-
communal.
Long
yeah,
tables.
yeah, long table. So once the show started, got paired up with like a bunch of like women, and then oh man, they left.
We should move on.
Like I would just look over and then just fucking two hats is just like be like, this is my best buddy. It's my fucking 60th birthday, and they're
Wow.
like they're dolled up. Like this is their like night out on the town because Corky's Irish pub turns into Corky's Irish night. Like it's actually a pretty decent bar. Like it is a pretty decent bar, but because it's so big and they
Sounds like it has a rib special. Definitely.
Depends on the night.
yeah.
That night.
But you know, it turns into kind of like a dance club kind of thing.
After like 10.
Yeah, on the weekends.
Yeah.
So these people are like dolled up. And then two hats is just.
Just cleared them out, hey?
So
But we had the show had bouncers, which is fucking rare
Rare.
for a rowdy bar show. But they were there more for the nightclub after.
Yeah.
Like they were. I think two bouncers were like just eating their dinner, like watching, and they're
Having
just
a
like,
poutine.
oh fuck, I hope I don't have
Rib
to.
special.
Yeah.
They got a
Rib beef. It's
rib
one of those.
special.
It's one of those bars where it's like it does a good beef dip. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
those
One
type
of
of
those.
bars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A beef dip.
Oh, the gravy has all sorts of shit in it.
Yeah.
Sounds like the Lougheed Village. That's what it sounds like. I'll
These are New West.
Hey, I'm just throwing fucking names.
Yeah.
Just fishing for sponsors. Hey, Lougheed, give me a
Yeah.
beef dip sponsor.
I live by Toby's on Commercial Drive.
yeah.
And
Yes.
that place
So
is
do I.
that place is a trip because it's like it's not like a Vancouver bar at all. Like it reminds me of the small town
Yeah.
you're from.
It's a small town pub.
Yeah, in the
On
middle
like
of
the
Vancouver.
busiest,
Yeah.
one of the busiest streets.
So I love it. Like
It's weird. It's weird seeing how they handle like the liquor store attached to that place because
I get some shady characters.
just all the time.
Their wall of shame. It just constantly.
Yeah, have you ever
growing.
seen their wall of shame?
What is it?
They have all these photos.
like the stills from the security cameras,
people
like as you're
shoplifting.
walking out, and it's just like I've been on the drive my entire time that I've lived here, and it's just like that list. Every week when I go in, I'm like, what the fuck? What happened to that last row of pictures? Like 4 more people stole this week, so we
Yeah,
gotta
'cause-
move them off.
And it's like, just to be clear, when you see the photos, not once have you been like, oh, really? That guy stole? No,
Yeah.
you're always like, oh yeah, this guy definitely stole something.
I just moved to Commercial Drive, and it's like interesting. It's the busiest part of town like I've ever lived in.
It's the hub.
before.
well,
It's-
especially in that area, like
Yeah.
when you're right around like Broadway and Commercial,
Yeah.
like it's always busy. Like
Yeah.
it's always busy.
Is Toby's the one up a bit? Like you gotta
On, like,
look when you get up the
closer to
Skytrain,
Salt.
you
past
go left.
Broad- yeah,
you
yeah.
go left. Yeah, that's like it's a decent liquor store.
It's a good liquor store.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Yep.
It's okay. Yeah.
I mean,
They
you gotta-
carry off the rail beers.
Oh,
they
nice.
do carry
Yeah.
off the real beer for
Please
all
pick
your
up off
drinking.
the rail.
I really
goddamn
don't like
needs.
that BC liquor store on that street though. On Commercial, because they close at 9.
Oh, I have a
Is there
story.
a BC liquor store?
Yeah, there is,
I have
and
a
they
story
close
about
so
that one,
early.
yeah.
Like they're punishing the people for Commercial Drive.
That's true.
We've just established that it's a popular street. it should have a great liquor store, just like all the other ones downtown. However, they close at an absurd hour to punish the people there.
Well,
Those
you can
guys-
visit Liberty Liquor Store, which also
Sure.
carries Off the Rail
No,
Brewing.
nice. That's good.
I'll tell you what, I was there with an Irish friend of mine, real mainland Irish, okay?
Like
And
northern?
yeah. And,
From Belfasty.
Sure, Belfasties, Corkies.
That's offensive to
Yeah.
other Irish people that aren't from Northern
Throw-
Ireland.
Let's just fucking
Yeah, don't call the North real. Like some people.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know what
You
kind of
just
Irish
and
he is.
I
but,
wish this wasn't a video podcast to be like, well, Jamie's wearing like a bright orange shirt and he's calling the North real Ireland. You can't see it, but he's mouthing
Yeah.
"fuck the Pope."
You know, when Jack Nicholson's like, "Who the fuck let this IRA motherfucker in my bar?" That kind of, yeah, like that kind of thing. I was in there with that guy, and he was one of those situations where I know what I want to drink, Jack Daniels, and he doesn't know what the fuck he wants to drink. So we do like a tour lap around the store while he's making up his mind. We get to the front. I have my Jack Daniels. He got like a 6 of some beer or whatever.
Off the rails.
Off the rail, of course. And as we walked up, the guy at the counter's like, "Excuse me, why were you just in the back room?" And I was like, "Excuse me?" And he's like, "Why were you in the back room?" I'm like, "I don't know what you're talking about." And then he's like, "So you're gonna pretend that you didn't go in the back room just now?" And I'm like, "Are you mistaking me for like?" And there's no one else in the store, so I'm
Yeah.
like, "Are you mistaking me for someone else?" And he's like, "Look, all I know is that I saw you go back there, and now you're not admitting it. So I don't know if I should sell this to you." And so I'm a well-adjusted individual, so I immediately am like, "Well, you're a fucking cunt."
There we go.
And he's like, "Excuse me?" And I was like, "How fucking dare you accuse me?" And then he, you know,
So you escalated that a
well
little bit.
adjusted. Well, I think I matched his cunty level with my own.
Normally, I don't like people in the service industry being treated that way, but people that work for BC Liquor Store, technically government
Yeah.
employees, they get a pretty good
Yeah.
wage and benefits.
I would
so-
never act like that ever to anyone in service. I have a huge background in retail and service. I would never ever act like that to someone in service unless they fucking
Someone showing you their true colors.
yeah, unless they treated me first like that. First of all, he's accusing me wildly with no evidence, and there's no proof to that. I didn't do that. I
So
didn't.
why did you go in the back room?
Yeah.
Yeah, so what
the
was in the
real
back room
reason
that
I
you
went?
needed?
I was like, "There's Jack Daniels back there," and I grabbed it. No, I don't know what the fuck he was thinking. Like the real story is what I just said.
Yeah,
So for him to be like that, all of a sudden his like very very weak beta of a manager comes
Okay.
out, and this guy.
Yeah,
like,
that's
Never
pretty.
been rude to anybody.
Yeah.
This beta manager
This beta
comes
cock-
in.
Hold on. Is there a red pill? Fucking hell. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I didn't realize I was on Infowars.
Yeah.
I know.
his cock of a manager.
Do you have any idea what it's like to be accused of being in the back room when you have not been there?
And then sorry, excuse me. I got ahead of myself there again. The reality, like though, is like this guy like wisps his way out there, and he's just like, "Hey guys, I don't know what the disruption is, but can you not swear?" Like, right?
Oh,
And
so he's a nice gentleman.
Yeah.
dude. All I said was like, "Your employees falsely accusing me of doing something," and I took it way too far.
You did not admit to that. I know you as a person. You did not admit to
I
that.
then took all the blame, and wrote him a thank you letter. That was how all my confrontations end.
You're telling a story and realizing you don't come off as good in it.
No,
so now
yeah.
you're changing the end of it. You're like, and then me and my friend, we returned the liquor and continued volunteering for the church.
That's right.
I gave him $5 out of my wallet at the end, and I thought it was good. It smoothed everything over.
I paid him. I had a good time. He had a medium time, but it was good.
I swore once in a customer service encounter, and it was I went
In person or on the phone?
in person.
Okay.
I was going with my friend to see Harold and Kumar 2.
Okay. Here we go.
And then we bought the tickets, and then we got ID'd, but we were both like 18. And in BC, when you're like 18, it kind of stinks because like some of your friends are turning 19. Like we're graduated high school, but like we can't go do anything. But yeah, I just had, I forget what, but I didn't have a driver's license or like a correct photo ID, but I had a student card. And then something with my name and birth date on it. And they're
Right.
like, no, that wasn't good. And I was like, just like, oh, it's like so embarrassing looking back because it was so angsty. Just like, whoa, what the? Are you fucking kidding me? And they're like, please stop swearing. There's like a family behind you. And I looked and there's a small child. And I'm like, now I'm in the wrong.
Yeah.
And she's like, go, you can return your tickets. And then I wanted to be like, yeah, but I just paid for this iced tea. And then because I felt awkward about swearing, I was like, well, I guess I'm just going to drink a $4 iced tea. Which is great. I'm like so dumb. And I ran into two friends who were going to see
Even better.
who were going to see a movie, and they were like, "You can't get in, you can't get into Harold and Kumar 2 because we're not, I don't have proper ID or whatever." And then they're just like, "Oh yeah, that sucks, man." It's like, and then I was like, "You're not going to Harold and Kumar, are you?" Because then you could be, and they're like, "No." And then I don't think I saw that dude for like 3 years after.
Hey, Rye, what are you doing? Nothing.
Just hanging out at the fucking.
What are you doing? Just drinking a $4 iced tea, bro.
Yeah, and then I think we went to down by the river and smoked marijuana, and I just
That's
like,
a good move, though.
Yeah, I was like, I'll show them.
That's a pretty casual thing to do.
But I always forget why. I forget. Now I'm thinking in this story. My buddy was driving, so I can't remember where was his license in this, or he wasn't 18 yet. Maybe that's what it was. He was 17.
Yeah.
Did you?
And then it was very funny. The woman I swore at, I ended up working for 2 years. I worked at that movie theater later. Yeah, and I never brought it up.
Just
never
when I thought this story was like just winding down. Okay, hold on. How is it that you?
Then that's my boss.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Because I am mad. Like, dude, that's the other thing with movie theaters. Even though I remembered
You worked at a movie theater then?
Yeah, for 2 years. Yeah.
You worked for her.
Yeah.
She definitely remembered you. There's no way she does.
Yeah.
No, they see so many people. There's
It was
no
a while
way.
after, like-
There's no way.
And
know,
also,
like-
I was working at a movie theater at like kind of like an older age to be working at a movie theater. Like I was, this was 2 weeks ago. No, it would have been 21 when I started working there. I was going to university,
Yeah.
and I didn't want to be a bouncer, and that was the other job that
enough.
you could work. Only had to work nights.
Tell me about being a bouncer.
No, I didn't want to be a bouncer.
But you did?
No.
Okay.
Because like everyone's stories were like, yeah, you just get really bored and then you pick a fight with someone. I'm like, that doesn't sound fun.
That's brutal.
That's the worst. That's
My-
my worst nightmare.
I've
Because
done, I did.
I'm easily beat upable.
I did bouncing in like for like a redneck bass or I just said it the way I was thinking. A redneck bass fishing tournament. Bass. I did bouncing at a redneck bass fishing tournament, and it was the silliest thing.
Why does a bass fishing tournament require a bouncer?
Well, it was televised.
Probably Kenora, wasn't it? Was it
Well,
Kenora?
it was televised. Well, there we go. That explains
Was it Kenora?
It was my hometown of Kenora, Ontario.
They take fishing pretty fucking serious. Their home mascot is a fish.
It's true. Husky the Muskie.
Husky the Muskie. So
Husky the Muskie.
It's this giant. I don't even know the actual measurement, but it's like 2-story fish.
At
It's
least.
like it's
Yeah.
this giant fish.
It's huge.
Like the nickel in
absurd.
Sudbury.
the lake fishing
Like
in
that,
Kenora
yeah.
is
But
a
muskie.
serious deal, I think.
It's crazy. It's like it's all
So
flying.
what was
fishing.
your job? Just to like stop rowdy contestants, or like if they were like, "You're number one fish," and guys like, "No, my fish is number one."
Yeah,
And,
it was.
them up.
It was all. It was pretty lame. It basically.
People have favorite fishermen's.
Yeah, okay.
You
Is
mean, like-
fantasy
wait.
fishing a thing where you pick fishermen from?
You mean like Bob Azumi?
Doug the Stud.
Bob Azumi, who's actually check this out. I don't know fucking anything about angling, as they would call it.
Okay.
No, it is what it's called.
As
Let's
they-
be honest.
let's
not be
let's
rude.
get real. An angler. He's not a fisherman. He's an angler, first of all. But I don't know anything about anglon. But I do know that every day on local radio, every day growing up, they had like real fishing with Bob Azumi or something like that. And he could be like, what you want to do is use a jigger when you're using the thing. You're like, whoa, what was that? Whoa, what the fuck did you say? He's like, use your jigger to catch a blah, blah. And he just had all these weird fucking tips, and I never fished, so I have no idea. I never
fished?
angled.
Fishing is nice, though.
I fished over the years, but at the time I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I fished when I was a kid, and like that's probably like when I should have known I had ADD. I like just couldn't couldn't shake it. Like, just I'd be in that boat for like 10 minutes. I'm like, this fucking sucks. Like, I just want to jump in and swim back.
Seriously, nothing's happening. Like, how long are we going to be here? Like, we've been here for 10 minutes.
Some people find it very therapeutic. It would be like their float house.
Yeah.
You know what? That's northern. It's
Literally,
northern Canada's float house.
I could definitely see how, as an adult, it's awesome. But like when you're a kid, it's like it's just not
'cause
stimulating
you
enough.
don't have problems. You need to get away from.
Well, I think it's
Like, you know what I mean? When you're fishing, it's like because fucking Deborah's like gonna take the kids in the divorce, and your boss is just coming down on you so hard and like emasculating you, and you're just like in this weird. And your kids that she's taking like don't even like you. Like you have a weird relationship with them. You were okay with them when you were kids, but
They
now
hate
that they're
you.
teenagers, and they're
Yeah.
like little adults. Yeah, you like don't know how to talk to them at all. That's when you go fishing.
I love
When you're fishing, like, or when you're kid fishing, you could be eating Fun Dip or reading Archie comics.
I used to just sit at the front of the boat while I was going in Top Gear, and I would just hum the Super Mario theme as loud as I could because no one could hear it because the boats. I'd be like,
That's Super Mario World, by the way.
"Oh, easy there, fucking
Just
makes
letting you
video
know.
games
I mean,
for a living."
let's-
Let's get fucking real. Or I'd sing the casino theme to Sonic. I don't know. Fuck.
All
I
right.
don't know that one well enough. I don't know that one well enough.
Jesus.
I think it also
Work for
depends on
Sega
like,
over
what,
here.
what you're fishing for, I think, in some cases. Because, like, if you're just, like, what my family did and just, like, sitting there fishing
Yeah.
for perch or whatever, where you're literally
Piece
holding, like, a
fish.
paint stick
Yeah.
with, like, fishing line tied around it, that's boring as all hell. That sucks.
That's
like, the worst.
the paint stirrer.
worst
No, because that's like
kind of
ice
fishing.
fishing, basically.
Yeah, may as well be
Yeah.
ice fishing in the summertime.
I have buddies that ice fish, and I think I went once, and like
It's just
it was-
drinking.
I was
That-
from drink. I ended up. I got so drunk, I just slept in this dog bed.
There you go.
That is like one of the most Ryan Williams stories I think I've ever heard. It's
Well,
just-
I'm
I might
also
have-
sure that that's how, like, 90% of
Yeah.
ice fishing trips end up.
Because we
Fell
were
asleep,
drinking. Well,
passed out hard.
it gets more Ryan Williams. I think how I ended up where I was that night because they picked me up at my buddy's house, and I was drinking at a bar. And then, because it was when I was living, it was the first year I moved to Vancouver, and I was like, oh, I want to see my buddy Spencer. I probably shouldn't say it. And then he just like drunkenly picked
Allegedly.
me up.
Allegedly.
Allegedly Spencer. He like picked me up like on his quad, and we're like driving down like city roads, like in the snow, just fucking hammered drunk.
Allegedly.
And then, yeah, and then we went and got McDonald's breakfast off like 2 hours sleep
Nice and early.
to go ice fishing. And it's the only time I've ever thrown up from a vehicle from being like too shaky. Because it was like just like
Motion, yeah.
like all these like BC like logging roads, and yeah, it was just so like maybe not even hungover, just like still drunk and just full of, and it had to be we weren't in time for breakfast, we missed breakfast, so it was like McDonald's lunch, so like a 10:30 lunch or something.
Available now anytime you want, and they don't even sponsor us.
Dude, I live by the 24-hour McDonald's, and then I found out if you take a sausage McMuffin and put it in a McDouble, it's like the best thing ever. I'm gonna be obese.
Yo, dude, just go for it, man.
It's so good. It's crazy.
You know, if you just don't have the bun, you'd probably be fine.
Did you see
Some
some of the new,
keto.
like, because now we have all the American food hacks now up here.
Yeah.
My favorite one, I think, this year, or when they were like, oh, now Canada has all day breakfast.
Yeah.
Is where you order the hot cakes that you can get in the morning.
Yeah.
And then you order like 3 fillet of fishes. And then
No
bust
one
up the
likes
fillet of
that.
fishes
Ooh.
with a
No.
Chipotle salad.
No.
And then you make breakfast fish tacos with the salad
With
And-
using the pancakes as the taco?
as the taco.
yeah, at
That
first
is
that was
offensive
gross.
to me on every
Oh,
fucking level.
it just drove me nuts. I was like, who is eating that? And it's like, it's one of the most
Yeah.
popular ones. I was like,
Why don't you just go get fish tacos?
you're all
somewhere?
gross.
likes
Yeah,
You're all
fish
gross.
talk now because pancakes also. Okay, where does this podcast stand on pancakes? Ryan Williams, pancakes mostly whack. I've never like ate pancakes and like, oh, that was a great
Okay,
I'm a
so
decision.
where do you
waffle guy.
stand
I'm a
on
waffle
French
guy.
toast, waffle, pancake? What's your move?
Man,
Or none of the above?
I'd probably go with French toast.
Yeah, French
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
I
a
never-
French toast guy
Me
myself.
too.
I never
Yeah.
crave
Savory
that
waffle.
stuff.
Waffle
I never
on
crave.
first.
Waffles are dope too.
I wonder
Yeah.
if
and
okay.
pancakes are okay, but
Not my
I'm never
thing.
a big pancake guy. You know what I like? I like the pancakes in cartoons when they look easily
Yeah.
cuttable, and I'm like, man, that looks great. When you
Fluffy.
eat pancakes, they're never like
fucking
that. They never
gross.
cut like that.
They're
always
mostly
just like-
batter.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're
You know,
kind of cakey. And you're like,
I wonder
fuck
if
off.
I wonder if we all are so
thin European pancakes, like the thin, like they're kind of crepey.
Crepe.
Crepes.
Yeah.
But I know, but like
Yeah,
when you
crepes
just eat
are
them
dope.
like pancakes, though,
See,
those
that's
do
what you
cut
gotta,
like that.
That's
that
what you gotta
Matt-
do. Go buy a bunch of Filet-O-Fishes,
No.
then go to Cafe Crepe,
Jesus Christ.
and then look, you're gonna need a car for this.
yeah.
You also
That-
gonna need a lot of trips.
Yeah.
that manager at the liquor store, the beta one, he eats those European fucking
Dude, crepes
for
are
sure.
good,
Who
man.
They are
like
good,
crepes?
but I'm just saying he also eats them.
Whoa.
Sure.
I wrote him a
Are
letter.
you trying to make
I
this
wrote him a letter.
What are you trying to say here?
that crepes are not masculine
Hey.
because they're thin?
Jesus. Why didn't you get?
a little
Oh,
offensive,
you
MD.
can get another group of people to start hating me. So we
The
had.
crepe
Hey,
people.
you know what else is flat? A crepe.
That's right. Speaking of flat,
Oh, boy.
we
No.
recently entertained legitimate, full-on believer Kyle McDonald on flat Earth theory.
Is that
he's
who
the
is
one-
Kyle McDonald?
he's
Like,
the-
is that his only credit? He just believes the Earth is flat.
No,
definitely not.
No,
We just
that's
found him
actually
outside actually and brought him in here.
no.
Yeah, you're just exploiting mental illness.
The reality of it is that like I've known him a few years. He's done the show before, but he his claim to fame, so to speak, is that he traded a red paperclip all the way up to a house. You heard
Oh,
this
that
thing?
guy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know who that guy
Yeah, you know
is.
Kyle. Kyle's
yeah.
good. He's done like TED Talks, like millions of views and shit like that.
Yeah, yeah, it was all-
he's a smart dude.
yeah, it was
He's
eBay.
a real smart dude. And so over the last 6 months, I've observed him online coming out about being a flat Earth theorist. and
That's so funny. It's like
very
it's worse than
fascinating though, because like he's this brilliant dude. He's this
Well, I also
brilliant
like
guy.
the other story you mentioned where he went to a store. And you were
Oh
telling
right,
me-
yeah. So, but he's also this purveyor of like all these like social experiments.
Mm-hmm.
Like him and a group of people that are part of his like One Red
Mm-hmm.
paperclip project. Several years ago, the follow up to the One Red paperclip thing he did, which was a social experiment.
Yeah.
You know, he got a house out of it and all this stuff, but like the next thing he did was he went to like a bodega in New York, like it's just a mom and pop store, and he like walked up to the counter and he's like, I'd like to buy the inventory of the store, all of it. And then the guy was like just in disbelief, but they documented it all. And so they start ringing up this thing on this one long
He needed the receipt, which
Yeah.
is crucial.
So he gets the receipt at the end after they have all this inventory. And I don't know, I think they just gave most of it away. I don't know the story there. But then the receipt becomes a piece of art, like modern New York art.
Oh, yeah.
And I think they sold it for like, because like we're talking like
some
30,000.
fucking
Yeah, it
Williamsburg
seemed,
has
but it
that
seemed like
frame.
the deal was that they sold it for like an approximate value of the actual
of the-
contents.
right?
Yeah.
And
Of
it
the
was all
receipt, which
this,
is insane.
yeah, and it was all this idea.
really
of,
smart.
It was like, you know, commerce is this comment on commerce is a thought form rather than this. Like he's this brilliant dude, right? He's this brilliant fucking
Very
guy.
rational person.
Yeah, and he's a very rational dude. But then we had him on to talk about this because I didn't want to belittle him or ridicule him while he was doing this. I just wanted to hear what he had to think. I think that's much more of an exercise in critical thinking than just having him on to shit on him. Like, yo, okay, come on the show and I'll tell you why you're wrong. Like that's fucking terrible. I don't want to listen to that. That's fucking,
Unless their name is Steve McGowan.
Yeah.
unless it's Steve McGowan.
Steve McGowan for sure is a closeted flat Earth theorist. Like you can he's a flat earther. He's a 9/11 truther. Absolutely. He believes in lizard people, but not like the popular one. Like he just believes like people are descended from lizards.
He's really misinformed, even on the weird.
He like watched a documentary on like on evolution, and then
Yeah.
when like the thing comes out of the muck and becomes like the first primate,
Oh,
he
yeah.
like he gets confused and he just thinks it goes to human first. That's his theory. And his videos he's made only have like 5 hits on YouTube on his weird lizard theory.
Oh, McGowan here again. Yeah, I just want to talk to you guys about something like that. But, yeah. Okay, but seriously though, we had him on a couple weeks ago. We had Kyle McDonald on a couple weeks ago, and the video is just starting to gain traction now for whatever the fucking reason.
Because flat Earth is like it's the new Coke Zero. Like it's it's so dumb because people think that a rapper B.O.B. just did it for publicity.
Yeah.
Oh, when you
Felicity.
reach for a word and then you realize it's coming out wrong, it happens to me too much.
I got you. All right, I got you. I'm spotting you on your.
So he was really trying to get some felicity in the news. That's what people think. Because then the other person was Kyrie Lowry.
Yeah, Kyle Lowry.
Who
Yeah.
walked it back though?
Yeah. He was just saying how dumb he was kind of going back being like, oh, the media is dumb that you would like care about this, and then so that's and then all the other ones I know, like I've never. So now I'm very curious as to what his like thought, because they're just like, no, astronauts are liars.
Yeah, like he was straight up. I asked him.
And then what's on the other side?
No, so I brought that up.
Well,
What's on the other side?
No, it's not the other side. It's what's beyond the
Yeah.
reaches.
His theory is that
His theory
gravity.
sucks.
I don't know. I'm not here to say it's one way or another, but like I don't believe
What
it.
if this is his social experiment, though?
This is what we think.
Yeah,
is
yeah,
that
this
like
is a deep
this?
one.
Yeah.
I asked him several times during the show. Every about 15 minutes or so, he would say something even more outlandish, and I would say to him, Kyle MacDonald, is this a modern day troll? Are you trolling us right now? Is this some type of thought experiment? He'd be like, no, everyone thinks I'm being some kind of
You first.
troll or something, but.
But
it's
so I asked to
Ryan.
the point, like I asked like what was on the edges, and he claimed like a number of things come to like
It's like an earthy crust.
No,
like
no,
a
it
nice,
comes to
warm, buttery
like, one of the
crust.
main theories is an ice wall, right? A giant ice wall that
Yeah.
has never been navigated, which is absurd.
Oh, Antarctica.
beyond
That's what
fucking
he.
belief.
One of his theories was like that.
No, but that was the theory. But he said he thought maybe once you get to an edge, you come out the other side. So you kind like a video game.
His theory
like
was-
you're playing, like
Because-
you're playing Joust, is what he thought. I'm serious. That's what he said.
Well, I'd have to review the
Pac-Man?
episode.
Or Pac-Man. That's
I don't know.
ridiculous.
I don't know enough about his theories to
No, but that's what he
to be
said.
an apologist
He
for him.
said.
But like,
he said he thought maybe you go in and you came out the other side.
Well, if that's what he's saying, then I mean, I don't know. It's hard to.
It's almost more believable in a giant ice wall. I believe that more.
His main point he was making to me was that because of the way gravity affects the theory of time, the way that a straight line, the way we perceive a straight line, and it's like the way you can, relative movement. When you're standing on the ground and you look up at a plane and a plane is moving 500 fucking miles an hour, but to you it's moving like a centimeter at a, that kind of thing. It's not.
Vis-a-vis Earth flat.
Well, he was just saying that like the objects in space might be in the way that a ray of light we perceive it as straight, but because of I don't know. Look, I don't know enough about his fucking theory, and I'm not going to sit here and try to spout what he was saying.
I'm just
But
saying. He told
gonna
me
say
that if
it
you
was-
get to the edge of the Earth and you might come back on the other side.
To be honest with you, I don't really give a fuck
what
if
he
we were
said.
talking about flat Earth or anything. I was just really fascinated that there's
Yeah,
this guy,
he's
this
a great guy,
brilliant
though.
dude. He's
Super
this
smart.
brilliant guy.
Loved him.
My main point is like you don't get the level of media training he's had to go through and the amount of coverage he's had over the years over all his stuff. You don't get people don't fuck with you if you're crazy like that unless they're exploiting you. And he's not an exploitable
He's clearly not that
person.
person, so you then wonder.
Yeah.
But there's some crazy things, like I forget the scientist. He's like a really big scientist, but his whole thing was like, nah, women are dumb. And he's like a legit scientist. Yeah,
no.
he's like people know him. He's like, no,
no.
you just can't work with him. And like, he's
my
he like lost
Lord.
like his
That's
what is
good.
that tenure? He like lost his tenure as a. So it's crazy. You
That's
can have
hard.
like super smart people. Like in one, well, the most common example is the guy in the States, Ben Carson. The guy's and Kelly Leach. Kelly Leach is a surgeon as well.
Yeah.
Ben Carson is one of the leading neuro
Yeah.
scientists. Like he's a neurosurgeon.
douchebag.
Like
But you want to be like,
he's literally a brain surgeon.
yeah,
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
like, but you want to be like, it is rude, but it's like, yeah, he's somewhere on like an autistic spectrum, like
There is like a
or
weird.
an idiot savant.
Well, I mean, the baggage thing
Possibly.
is my favorite motion thing. Like
That-
is my
What's
favorite.
that?
that
What
was
do you
the most I could ever like. It makes me.
What are you
feel,
talking about? What's this? Wait. What?
He's doing an interview and they're asking him some
By
questions.
the way,
about,
Ryan is our
I love
guest,
this. I
and
know.
Ryan's our guest, and Ryan's pouring all his own. Like we should be
I like
pouring
it.
you drinks, my friend. We shouldn't be doing.
It's my pleasure to be here.
Oh Jesus, what a good guy.
It looks
love
good. Did you get him pouring that beer or whatever?
Oh, I got him.
Oh, we
right,
did.
good.
That's Ryan Williams approved.
So he was he was doing an interview about like his new position like on the housing hub.
But
so
on like a street side.
on like a street side, and then he just gets this like look of like realization. He's like, "Oh, my luggage," and then just runs away from the
Like in
interview.
the middle of a difficult question, he's like, "Oh yeah, shit!" Like
My
he just
luggage.
gotta go grab his luggage
What?
from the
He
road.
just like bails on the.
yeah.
Well, but part of it was like he legit forgot his luggage. That
Yeah, no,
I
that is
see.
part of
That
it.
was unfortunate for me to watch because that's the most I've ever related to a politician ever. I'm usually rolling around with a backpack and like it'll just be like we'll be like walking somewhere and I'll just be like oh fuck and then just like take off sprinting and go grab. One time, here is a story I can tell. So when me. James Kennedy and other comedian or past guest James Kennedy and comedian so very funny Sophie Buttle, we drove across the country and we were kind of doing a tour. And the money we were making, like we made quite a bit from our Vancouver and Kamloops show, but then we were just any money we made off of a show we put in a pool, and we didn't put it in any of our bank accounts, which I forget why at the time. But I was like, well,
trust issues with.
yeah, you never know. Or,
Shady James Kennedy.
no,
on the
I
road.
was just assuming over withdrawal issues. Like
course,
if we
no,
put
no,
all
no.
the money in, not all of it's coming out. So I'm like, okay. I'm like,
That's
I
a
get
real
it.
comedian situation there. You're like,
No
look,
one,
none of
no,
us-
one, no
yeah.
one asked, but we were all kind of like,
Dude,
that's probably.
this is like
that's-
band stuff, like
It's
punk
in-
rock band.
So
tours.
what we did was from
I
the,
love it. I
the
love
first
it.
show in Vancouver, we had an empty ice bag, like from the ice from that show. And then we traveled across the country, and at the most, we had $2,000 in this bag, like literally plastic bag that used
doubling
to
as
hold ice.
meth dealers. Just
Yeah,
like
that was closed with one of Sophie's hair ties, but it was always in my
gangster,
backpack.
gangster Sophie.
It was
Gangster
always
Sophie.
but it was always in my backpack at all times. And 3 times we were like somewhere, and I was like the backpack.
Oh shit.
And that was like how we were paying for the rental car.
Oh,
Like,
man.
so. And every time, like, it's just sitting there, and I just grab this backpack, like, oh, look in. Yeah, still thousands of dollars.
Oh
in
jeez.
there.
That's terrifying though.
Yeah.
That I wonder what that is evolutionary wise. The cold water feeling. Like that, like
Oh,
what you
yeah,
just
yeah.
described. You're like the backpack.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you can relate to that. Even just saying that, you're like, oh, you kind of perk
Yeah.
up a bit. You're like, oh fuck.
Oh, yeah. What evolutionary?
I mean, it's when you carry anything with value, though. I feel it like, not to bring it back to magic cards, but when I carry around magic cards,
Jesus
I get
Christ.
nervous when I realize I've just left my bag somewhere. And it's like, oh yeah, that's like at least a few $100. That's kind of dangerous, right?
It is pretty fucked up. I lost.
Like I'm sure. I mean,
Well, I lost all the episodes prior to episode 90 on video. So
Oh, shit.
71 to 90 or something like that are just gone to the wind. And you know what's really shitty is I left them in a cab, called 100 cabs trying to find them. I know all the schedules.
Yeah.
Now.
You can't find anything though when you leave it in the cab.
No, but like here's what kills me is that like
Yeah.
the amount of times I've returned people's cell phones or wallets or whatever I've found like dozens of times, and someone would find a hard drive. First of all, the only thing on it is Intergalactic Interviews, and like what are the what
It's not
value?
even a nice hard drive. Let's be honest. Like in the sense that like it's not worth. Like, oh, I just could use another
What a score.
12 gigs or like 120 gigs, like whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
throwing
what's
fucking
going on
shade
there?
at you
Yo,
over your
I mean,
hard drive.
first of all, you take a good look for some nudes.
Yo, he's ragging on your
Right?
SSD, son. Yo, you gonna really come at me with this? Like, it's not good enough? How dare you? It was
Oh,
white on white,
settle down.
white on white finish. How dare
Either
you?
way, no.
No, yeah, no.
What I'm saying is the
That's
average
true.
hard drive is not worth grabbing.
Man,
Like, come on.
Do you want to even hear the? Oh man, if we're gonna go down this route, the amount like the horseshoe I had on my ass with my wallet was insane. Twice in Kamloops, I was just way
This
too.
weekend?
No, like twice. But like, how?
We didn't even talk about the altercation, by the way.
Oh, we can go back to.
We
I'll
will
cycle into this.
Tell me, yeah. Cycle.
So
into
like
this, yeah.
I remember being like 19 years old and I was really drunk and like one of the guys in the cab was like he's Saudi, like rich Saudi family, and in my mind I'm like, oh man, like I need money, I don't want to pay for this cab, this is a long cab ride, he'll pay for it though, but I don't want to like turn down paying for it. And then it's just like, by the way, I'm very intoxicated. And by the way, just like the light bulb that went over my head, be like, genius idea. Take my wallet, threw it out the window of the cab.
Who does this?
I was like, fucking beat the system. I don't have to pay anything.
Just whip your fucking wallet out. Okay. I have so many questions.
Did they see you do it?
Yeah, they're like, oh, fuck. And then, like, someone saw, no, only one person saw me do it. And then they were like, I think you whipped your wallet out of the cab. Like, so we got to where we were going, and I was too drunk. Like, I was, like, blacking in and out at this point. I had, like, a bad 3-year period of, like, blacking out, which I overcame, which probably isn't good.
You're powerful. Don't worry.
That gives me hope.
So yeah, and then my parents just get a call from this like nice old Italian man who's like just goes out to walk his dog and there's a fucking wallet on his front lawn. So he dropped it off at my parents' house. Got away with that, scot free. Another time.
How much would you have lost if that was the case?
Probably not a lot of cash, but you know how IDs are just a fucking pain
I do.
in the ass.
Recently,
Just a pain in the
went
ass.
through this.
And then,
Awful.
so a second time, you think, man, so now I know I can get away with it. So next time I'm super
Oh,
drunk.
Jesus.
And I'm in
That
the...
is the worst. You didn't learn anything.
Justified.
Yeah, just, again, whoop, right out the window. Guy returned the wallet. I gave him some money.
How much did you give him?
I think $40. And there was 60 in there, and he didn't
pretty
take any
decent.
of it.
That's a good guy.
Yeah.
He's probably expecting.
And also, I had a lot of guilt of like, what is this Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde person I become when I get drunk and just start throwing wallets. Also, at that time, I had a really bad habit of, oh God, breaking into cars in downtown Kamloops when I was too drunk just to sleep. Like, I wouldn't smash the window. I would just find doors that were open. So I would just wake up like from a blackout and just be in a car and be like, uh-oh, better get out of here.
I have my eyes are open so much more to the Ryan Williams
Yeah, it was
saga.
crazy.
Right
The
now.
worst was one time I was in like a semi truck, but the seatbelt was on, and I was like, I think this is murder. I think I was gonna get murdered.
Yeah,
Like, and then I just
definitely
ran
murder.
away. So yeah,
Like one with a sleeper, like a.
no, I wasn't in the sleeper.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, yeah, I just wake up in a cage. And
Yeah.
just
Cause that's like fucking Highway of Tears or whatever the fuck shit. That's like you'll be wrecked on that shit.
Yeah. And then when I moved to Vancouver, I still had not learned my lesson. At one point, I like took a bunch of money out because I forget what I was buying. I think I was gonna buy a bicycle the next day for like $200. And then I was like so drunk, and then I was buying some pops at the vending machine in my dorm room. For like Chase, because I was like, oh yeah, I need more booze at 2 a.m. after like getting kicked out of a bar. Like, this is, yeah, of course.
Of course.
Of course.
Top up.
And then I left the fucking wallet like on top of the vending machine.
Oh my
And the
God.
guy, a guy returned it, and like I forgot the money was in there, and I was like, this was at like 7 a.m. I was hungover and embarrassed. I'm like, oh, thanks, man, and just like shut the door. And then looked later and realized I'm like, oh fuck, I should have gave that guy money. Like this guy like didn't take anything. And then what? There was another time I left.
That guy went on to steal my hard drive.
Yeah, he's like, I've learned I'm creating so much bad karma in the universe. My own reckless stupidity.
He's like, they won't even give me money if I
Yeah.
give this back.
Yeah.
So it gets, and then
Why?
what? The fifth time, left it on the bus, and then this guy calls my parents because it still had my old address in it. He like looks it up, and then sure enough, he's only in town for like the weekend. We're both going to the Grey Cup. So he like
No.
meets me.
Oh,
Yeah, he meets,
no.
and he wouldn't even let me buy him a beer.
Oh.
Like, solid guy. And then the fifth time, this is the worst time. This one's the worst.
Five
Sorry,
times.
5 times.
Five times. 2 on purpose.
This is 4.5 times too many times.
Oh, I'm aware. I'm aware.
Times too many times.
This one was bad, though. So this one was, I had the cash from, I forget what, but it was right before we went on that tour.
Right.
And I took the cash out to buy all the beer. I had about $800 in my wallet.
Okay.
Whoa, that's a bunch.
Yeah, and I was buying
20s, 50s, what do you got? 10s?
I think it was,
Hundos.
10s, that's
Oh,
a fat
wow.
wallet.
yeah, I think there were some Browns. Yeah,
Some
there's,
Browns,
there's a lot of
couple
Browns in
Bs?
there. Yeah, there's some Bobby Bortons in there. Some Willie Macks and some Bobby Bortons.
I love your vernacular. Please continue.
Bobby Borton. This is the second podcast I've said Bobby Borton on.
2.5 too
Couple
many.
Bobby B's.
Damn it.
It's 2.5.
So and then I'm buying just some groceries at No Frills for like the trip, like snacks and stuff. And then I go to pay and then just do the like do the tap and just like no, and I go to run out of the store, and then also it was like very awkward because the security guard just saw me like stop and then run out, and I had a backpack with me at the time because I'll always remember the backpack or the wallet.
Yeah.
Sometimes not both, but at least one of the two. And then so he like went through my bag, and I'm just like stressed. I'm like, oh my god, this is fucked. This is so much. This is like so much money. I think because I had to pay my rent.
Yeah.
That's what it was. I had to pay my rent before we went on this trip. So that's what it was. Rent money was in that
Yo.
wallet.
That's
so
not
that was
good.
That's game
not
over,
good.
man.
And then I went back to the 7-Eleven that I was at, and the guy just looked at me with pure hate because he's on camera, right?
Yeah.
And he sees this dumb fucking white kid just like, gonna get a hot dog, and just like leave like fucking hundreds and hundreds of dollars. So he had to do, and someone turned it into him, so he had it, and he was just like, no, you're lucky. Like you're so like I'm not gonna do his accent because I'm not an idiot, but he's just like shaking his head and he's like, no, you're so lucky. And I'm
Why?
like, oh,
wait,
yeah,
why
no.
couldn't you do a white accent?
He's Irish.
Yeah.
Irish.
He was, you're so lucky.
You better fucking just
You're
get
so-
your wallet next time.
You're so fucking lucky.
You're fucking lucky.
Do you know that because I'm on the cameras,
This is
I
the-
couldn't take your money?
This is you're Irish, right?
I'm just doing an impression of an
I
Irish
was gonna say,
comedian. I'm
that's
just
the
doing.
shittiest Irish.
It's pretty good. I liked it.
No, that's a
I
cork
liked it.
impression. I'm doing
it
an
worked-
impression
I thought it was
of a
good.
person
I
I
thought
know
it
who's
was
Irish.
It worked for
How
me.
dare you? How dare you?
That's a Cork accent.
That's it's Cork.
It's Mark
Corkies.
O'Keefe. Sorry from a comedian who used to live in town, Mark O'Keefe.
I don't know if I might have met him. Maybe.
Yeah, he's a disaster.
Maybe not.
He makes me he makes me look like I have my shit together.
Best shit ever. That's why I love it. He makes me look like I have my shit together.
Yeah, yeah.
5 wallet stories later.
Yeah.
God damn.
And then the 6th time I lost it and didn't get it back. But that was the most innocent one. I was posing for a picture with Bobby Lee. Did a guest spot with him. I posed, and then I was like, oh, might as well squat for this picture. And
Slavic squat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like I'm posted up in the Adidas tracksuit. But I had lost a bunch of weight, so it was like my pants were like baggier, so it just fell out.
Jesus.
So that was like the innocent time I lost my wallet. And then the universe was like, no.
Too many
You can't have that.
fuckers.
This
Yeah, yeah.
Not a chance.
Fool me 5 times. Shame on me. Fool me 6.
But
Shame
the
on
best
you.
is that it's like the dumbest way. Like it's just like squatted over a picture. Wallet fell
Yeah,
out. I guess like
2 times I threw it out of a moving cab.
That's so insane.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Look, I'm not saying I'm not crazy.
I fucking
I
love
love
this.
that you threw it out with money in it. You don't even think ahead. You're like, hey,
Take the money out.
whatever.
No. Just
Dude, you gotta live in the moment.
Like you might as well take the. God damn.
I'm not about that life no more, okay? I've learned somewhat.
last time you were on the show,
Yeah.
you were a co-guest with
With a wallet.
with Stephen McNeil and James Kennedy. Love those guys.
Couple
And you
of
guys
wallets.
were representing your podcast, Steel Toes Required.
Yes.
Then it's one of my favorite podcasts to listen to. So as I'm listening to your show, I love it. I love everything about it. I love your segment breakdowns. I love everything about it. Then all of a sudden the uploads stopped. So I start shooting out messages. What the fuck's going on? And the show's on hiatus? What's happening? What's going on? I'm a loyal fan. Like, outside of this show, I'm just a loyal
So I
fucking
wanted
fan.
to ask James what I could say about this before I came on, but he just got back from Bali.
Yeah. Oh, congratulations to him, by the way.
Yeah,
Just got
yeah,
engaged.
it was a great trip.
Yeah, that was awesome.
No,
yeah.
yeah, he got engaged.
you got to touch monkey.
Yeah, he
Got
got
a
to touch him.
tattooed on
And that's
him.
not
Actually,
a
You had
metaphor.
monkey
That's
tattooed
He
on
had
it.
that monkey tattooed on him.
Very good.
That was fucking crazy.
Congrats.
yeah. You know what? That's a little much, but you know what? That's where I awesome. You know? Not to get a tattoo to commemorate your engagement to the love of your life. Nah, let's commemorate the
fucking monkey.
monkey.
Yeah, hilarious. So what happened then? What's going on? Is the show on hiatus?
Yeah,
What's happening?
we were gonna like end it because I got the idea.
Why? You guys were doing so well.
Well, I got the idea from a podcast in Vancouver called Retail Nightmares.
Right, Alicia Tobin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of assumed, but I also know those people, and I never really like looking back, I'm like, oh, I did this like the wrong way, like completely. So I never like asked like, oh, I also want to do a podcast about jobs, but it's construction. Like I was just thinking like it's so
It's
different.
such a different
but
take on it.
But it's
though.
weird because like I know them personally, and then
mean,
Stephen
okay.
McNeil was a guest like on the show, and then he said he's like, yeah, and obviously your podcast was an inspiration, and they kind of assumed it was a coincidence before that. So then it was pretty weird. So then we just kind of
Did they say anything?
no, like they weren't mean or anything, but you can tell like you can just tell like when people are.
I don't know them personally, but
They're great, by the way.
They're good people.
Yeah, and Retail Nightmares, you should check it out. It's a wonderful
I hear
podcast.
nothing but wonderful things about them.
Yeah, it's a
But
fan.
they didn't send you any heat.
No, they did like jokingly screw with us, and then there was something me and James were listening to, and then our podcast was brought up, and it just like at the same time we like messaged each other. It was like, oh, that made us feel like I didn't like that feeling, but then it went on enough, and then we thought about it. We're like, nah, like it is like what we're doing, like also what we were trying to do, we did. Which I think is rare when you're doing things artistically.
Dude.
Like the point across, because we tried to make it a lot about empathy as well, like putting yourself in other people's shoes and yeah, all those stories.
Ryan Williams standing in front of us, noted humanitarian.
Yeah. No. There's a big team because empathy doesn't mean empathy. Just means you're empathetic. You can be empathetic and then just choose to ignore those. Like that's a lot of people do that.
That's
like,
true. That is very true.
That's probably all of us to some degree.
That's 100% Michael Saavedra, by the way.
Like
right
most
there.
people
He's
aren't
like,
sociopaths, but most people ignore their.
Yeah,
empathetic-
Saavedra's like, that'd be pretty bad if that happened to you, but whatever. It's like that's 100% Saavedra right there.
Too bad.
So
So that you hit these goals, and then what?
So then we were like, oh, okay, let's bring it back. We want to bring it back, but then. So one of the members, he no longer wanted to do stand-up comedy anymore. Was a little frustrated going through and decided. Yes, Stefan. So he moved back home, and then
That's
we weren't
crazy.
shoot.
He's so funny. I like Stefan a lot.
I just have it. You get jaded on stuff.
I could see.
You get pretty much any comedian like 12 beers deep and bring it up, and they'll like tell you about how they've thought about quitting or whatever. So
Dude, absolutely. I don't think that's out of the question
Yeah.
at all. That like everyone gets those vibes eventually.
So yeah, and it's only recently that he's like made up his mind that he's not moving back to Vancouver. So then now we kind of gotta. I would really like to do it. The thing is, it's easier for me to do that because I do none of the. James does all the editing. His work, his actual steel toes job picked up a lot. So he's working quite a bit. He's like working like 10-hour days quite a bit, and he tours a lot as a comedian. So yeah, we'll have to sit down. If it comes back, it might not be a weekly podcast. It might be a bi-weekly. But yeah, we hope we can.
I'm
bring it
such a
back.
big fan. I'm gonna officially offer my help if I could do anything to get the show back together. Because
I'll hold you to it.
dude, see if I can help because like I'm not fucking kidding you. I really, really enjoyed those shows. That you guys did one with Kate.
Katie Burrell or Katie Ellen Humphreys?
No, not well. Katie Ellen Humphreys, we love her.
Yeah.
She's amazing. But Katie Burrell, haven't had the pleasure.
Yeah.
Of being here, but
That's
her-
one of our favorites.
Her
yeah.
episode, you guys, is what made like I was listening because I was like, I know you guys are funny.
Yeah.
And then that was the episode that made me go, oh, I'm tuning in every fucking week. Like
Yeah.
she's.
And then we
she's
had
hilarious.
like Brent Constantine's after that too.
Yeah,
that
that's-
was like
yeah.
one of my favorite episodes.
You guys just, I don't know. The familiarity obviously plays a role in it for me because I know a lot of you guys. But at the same time, the take you guys have on it where you guys are presenting job situations that everyone's going through. And if you happen to be on a work site or something like that that allows you to listen to music or podcast, you can listen to it and not maybe feel so shitty about what the fuck you're doing, because it's
Yeah,
like,
that
it's
was the
tough
big
work, man.
So
Like,
that was the other thing that like was very awkward, because I literally got the idea listening to Retail Nightmares while I was at my construction job, and I had this foreman who would sometimes call me retarded, which is a very
Jesus.
that sucks, man. Like when you're just like, and also the time he was doing it, I was like,
so he'd be like, "What are you, retarded?"
No, the guy who I was working for, like cutting for, he's like set up in this room. We'll cut in this room, and you can pass to me here. And then, but it's like there's hallways I could have cut in, which would have made more, and then just walk in there. So I got like all these fucking long 12-foot 2x6s, and I'm just like stuck in between these doors trying to get the wood in the room. And then he just looks at me, and he's like, you know what you're doing right now is pretty fucking retarded. And I'm just like, just trapped, like, he said to do it here. And then I was listening to their episode. I forget the name of the musician, but it was her telling her story about how she worked at this diner on Granville during the Olympics and just getting like berated by customers, and it was crazy busy all the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, as I'm being called retarded, I'm like, glad I'm not her. You know what I mean? Like when someone else is like telling their horror stories, like it's it's funny, and you're like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah,
It makes you feel a little better about what you're doing.
Absolutely, yeah.
I definitely relate to that. Yeah, like most of my jobs in the past have been like retail or like office gigs. I have worked like a couple manual labor jobs, but like my experiences are like complete fucking nightmares. Like
Yeah.
I've
The
been
thing
very
with
lucky-
with manual labor, it's usually about the situations and people that you work with, and
Like,
like interacting.
I
so
feel
there's
like
no interacting with like customers and stuff. But
That's
like
true.
the people you work
It's
with,
you. You're
Yeah.
interacting with you.
You,
That-
yeah.
That's I
But
remember
what I
you
find
making
funny
that
about
point
that,
once.
though,
Yeah.
is that like so
your
I've-
mood like is
Yeah.
so, because in customer
Crucial.
service, the one thing you can do is you become a fake person.
That's
it's,
right,
It's
yeah.
not, you at work is not who you are in life. Like anytime I've worked retail or customer service, but like you in your work mode, like, and then there's like people like, yeah, it's like there's like some very alpha like mind games and shit going on.
Oh
And,
yeah.
like,
It's crazy. What in a like a blue collar setting?
yeah, oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's really
There's,
weird
like,
about
how
that.
people like challenge authority, or how people like man their authority, or
or
how
just
people do
different
things.
managers or supervisors in general, and how they kind of run
Interact
their
with
various
people,
crews,
yeah.
etc. Right?
And so much of your day is based off of other people's moods,
Mm-hmm.
like your coworkers' moods. Whereas, and like in customer service and retail, it's based on like customers' moods.
Sure,
they
yeah.
can fuck your shit up. But like, yeah, in manual labor, like if someone who is above you is hungover or in a bad mood, your day is worse because of that. So like, what?
I think it's funny, like, sometimes when you're younger, I'm talking like high school time,
Yeah,
when
yeah.
you're working like shitty high school manual labor jobs, you could be, like, I work with a guy that would be the kind of guy you would take your shoe, like,
You were working manual labor?
Yeah, and like I worked in a sawmill when I was growing up. Like
damn.
when I was in high school, I worked in a sawmill, like a finishing mill. It wasn't like a green lumber
Yeah,
mill,
yeah.
but we were cleaning it on the weekends. Like
Okay.
on Saturdays, we would
Yeah.
clean the sawmill. But this fucking guy, you would take your shoes off.
I love any story that starts off with
This
this fucking
No,
guy.
he would find your shoes, and he would put he had done this more than once. Put water in them, and put them in the freezer, like the
You would freeze your shoes?
Yeah. So
From
then
the
when
inside.
yeah, so he would soak them, and this guy and I did not get along,
That's a-
and this
Yeah,
guy was
I
just
can take it.
constantly because like anyway, and
I can see why.
it was this thing. It was like a weird bullying thing, and I was like, "What can you do? Like, whatever. I guess you
Yeah,
gotta
it's
just move
weird,
on,
like,
right?
skate to work.
Yeah,
No,
you
I
just
can't-
like deal with it. You just go home. It's like I can drive. I don't fucking like whatever, right? Like,
No, like sometimes that's the thing though. It's like eventually you do have to nip that in a bud.
Oh, no, you
and
do.
it's weird
You
watching.
do.
It's
You're
very
right.
similar to certain prison situations because if you watch someone take shit, like then they will forever take shit, and then it's like very
it's
it's
true.
very dark to watch
You're
that.
right. It is like alpha shit. It like it's fucking dark to watch because you know that person is, like we mentioned earlier, the hardest part of the job is what's in your head as you're
Yeah,
doing it.
absolutely,
So you know
yeah.
that person's like already having to deal with the job,
Yeah.
and having to deal with this now.
But I mean,
Yeah,
this
you know what I mean?
situation,
That's
it's
two
like
fights.
you're just like a young kid. You work one
Yeah,
day a
when
week.
you're-
it's super easy.
If
to
you
deal
ever
with
watch
it.
an adult get bullied, it's fucking
Oh, no.
sad. Like it is not fun to watch. Like it's
I've been in union environments where I have watched young and old, all ages, but because you're the new hire, I've seen them just be absolutely torched.
Savaged.
But
Yeah.
there is like a psychology to it, like with sports and jobs like that. It's just like it's more like just coming in and realize that people have like you're part of something that
Right.
you haven't contributed anything to.
Yeah.
So there's a weird thing, and I know the trade that my dad used to work in, linemen. They're really brutal on people because it's an extremely dangerous trade.
Okay.
And you got to trust the person that you're working alongside because in some instances that person essentially holds your life in their hands.
That's fucked.
So you don't want to fucking goof.
Yeah. Somebody or some young kid like fucking off.
Yeah,
and being
that
an
doesn't give a
asshole.
shit. Yeah, you want people
yeah.
to take. But and then in some cases it's not. It's just psychological tribal bullying.
But what I found interesting
Yeah.
is that in this job was that when I eventually in the summer worked on the line, like I worked but pretty much full time, like during the summer when I had the time, they were way more respectful of me than these like part-timer kids.
Oh, okay.
Because I was able to like show that I'm like, hey,
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
fucking around.
The
Like I'm
value.
gonna show up every day and
Yeah.
do
Yeah,
the
yeah.
thing.
You can also take a shift if they need to knock off.
But
work.
they respected me way more out of the gate than like just some random guy
Yeah.
on
No,
the
of course.
on the weekend or whatever. And I really appreciated that. And actually, that's why I kind of wanted to keep working there
Yeah,
for
man.
when I was there. And it
I can
was
see
great.
that. You know,
I had a great time there overall.
it is a weird fucking situation though. Like, I'll tell you what. Did you want to tell us quickly about those cyclists on the weekend?
Oh, okay. that was another like a weird like.
So speaking of bullying,
I don't know if it was bull. Well,
You
was
weren't- no,
was
you-
I the bully in this situation?
no, I would say no. I'd say
So
these
yeah,
other
the show.
dude, the other guy's threatening violence.
Yeah,
so,
the
like,
show with two hats in Chilliwack. So I was on before Griffin as like kind of the feature spot. And there was this like dude who I had already met like earlier before the show started. He was like, hey, it's my birthday. A different birthday than Two Hats. This man was much younger than Two Hats, and he was also celebrating his birthday.
It's a big night in the town.
Do
Yeah.
we understand two hats right now?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
big time. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, and then so he was just like during the he'd be like, oh, it's my birthday, like high five me. I just thought the dude was super drunk, and he was drunk. He was intoxicated and drinking, but he kept walking by the front of the stage. I taught when I'm on stage, especially in a rowdy situation like that, like I just use hammer to the head. Like I talk very quickly and I'm like very loud and like intense, and it's kind of a way to command the room.
You're one of the most kinetic dudes I've seen.
But
on
like
stage.
in those situations, especially because I'm like, I'm gonna fucking bulldoze through this because it's a rowdy situation. So I'm talking very quickly and like loud, and then he walked by the stage and like tapped his nose and pointed at me to indicate that like, oh, I'm on cocaine. So I'm like, okay, how can I deal with this? So I just like that people have yelled that at me when I'm on stage before, and like the go-to is like just like comedically overreact. So I just go, I'm not fucking cocaine. I'll kick your fucking head if you ever say, and then just be like, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. Like,
Yeah.
and then just play with energy levels, and usually it gets a pretty good laugh. So
How did
like,
that go?
it's-
Small town neck tattoos. Out of the
So and then another time he walked by and he just started like he was like chirping, and then his buddies.
like why would you go to a show and do this?
well,
to a
so they're
performer?
not.
Why are people idiots?
No, but they weren't charging admission, right? So this dude, it's just his fucking birthday party.
Pub.
Yeah, and then in that,
You're interrupting.
yeah, exactly. No, but from his point of view, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, who the fuck? It's my fucking birthday. Who's giving these fucks microphones?
Yeah.
It's my birthday. Why don't I have the microphone? Like, that's the thought. Especially, it's the, like, who throws a fucking wallet out
Throw
of a
on
cab?
the Seeger.
Like, when you're a little drunk, your logic, like, kind of like, goes a little astray.
Put on April wine. Let's get this going. That's what they
April wine, yeah.
Exactly.
So, and then.
Nope.
The Mitchell.
So then, yeah, he was just like chirping a bunch, and then so I waited for him to walk, and then also when you don't have something to say right away, you can hold it for a bit for comedic effect. So I just kind of watched him walk out. And then just like as soon as he closed the doors, I'm like, oh, the real reason we're here is raising awareness for mental illness, and that got a big laugh. But so
Everyone's
brother-
laughing at this point.
yeah,
Everyone's-
but so his brother, if this is true that this person had a head injury, just watch me make fun of his brother pretty intensely twice, and the second time an entire bar full of strangers laughed at his brother who does have a head injury. Like, I can understand why he
No,
was
but hold
upset.
on. Hold on.
Absolutely,
They're
yeah.
like, first of all, you get off stage though, and the guy.
So it wasn't until after Griffin's set I was gonna get a shot, and then I'm just like standing. No, it was during Griffin's set. I'm going to get a shot, and I'm standing, and this dude comes up. And he's kind of got a haircut like Jamie's, but like in a small town, that's a more intimidating haircut.
You mean like a cool guy, terrible haircut?
But like in a small town, that's an aggressive
Oh,
haircut.
you don't want that.
In a small
ever.
town,
In a small town, you know what I mean? Like
a small town, they have to fly in a barber to do this.
Oh,
kind of thing.
okay. Settle down.
yeah, with that, and then he just comes up, neck tattoo, and then just stands up, like just kind of by me. He's like, oh, you gotta fucking watch what you fucking say, man. And I'm thinking, I'm like, oh shit, because also I did a joke that didn't land where I was talking about Chilliwack, and then I was talking about Abbotsford, and I said Abbotsford.
This is already a tough night for everyone, by the way.
Yeah.
This is like already, and you're just like,
Yeah.
well, fuck it, I'm just gonna go for it.
No, it was going like I wasn't taught like, but yeah, with Abbotsford, it's this joke I've like always wanted to try because I did their comedy club and I would always puss out and I'm like, oh, it's rowdy, I'll try it because it's like, when I'm from eastern, more east of here, so when I would drive in, I experience Abbotsford. Like I start seeing once you get to Abbotsford, you start seeing signs that say life is precious. Except when the new gang war's on. So that's what I thought it was about because he looked like he was for sure an ex-gang member. And that one didn't land. And I was
He's
like,
got like
"Whoa."
neck tattoos and shit, right? But he's like, you better fucking
Yeah.
watch what you say.
Yeah, and then he's like, and then he was like,
You're
yeah,
like,
my
why?
brother.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, what? And I'm like, because his vibe was like punching. You know what I mean? Like I can
Yeah.
feel
Yeah,
what
a
was
little
happening.
bit fighty.
And I'm like,
But you play sports, you know when people are fucking squaring up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then I could also see his buddy. He had a buddy wearing a Yankees hat staring me down from like far away. And then there was like two other guys that were like looking over. And then there was someone near the bar. Like I was like, and then
Cornered.
Legit surrounded.
Yeah.
so, but I just appalled. And then he said, he's like, so I was thinking it was that. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Because I've like made fun of Australians in Whistler and got like, it not was a good idea. And
I've done that. Don't worry. It's okay.
And then,
That's a great move, though.
so then he's like, and then he says, he's like, yeah, man, like, that's my fucking brother you were talking about. He's got a fucking head injury, man. And then I was like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
If I had known that, I wouldn't have said anything.
Yeah, where'd he get
I
his
just
head
thought
injury from?
I just thought he was really drunk. I'm like super sorry. And I could tell that me apologizing, he didn't want that.
Yeah,
he
waiting it?
He wanted me to get upset
He
so
thought-
he could beat the fuck out of me.
He thought you off stage was gonna be the same as you on
Exactly.
stage.
Yeah,
Like,
he
oh,
wanted to kick the fuck out of
yeah.
me, and then he was like, "What?" And then he said, he had like he said something very real for like just like a small town broy dude. He's like, "Well, yeah, I know you got to do your shit up there, but watch what you say." And then walked
Well,
off.
fair enough.
Which is fair enough.
Well,
He's like,
yeah.
"Yeah, you insult like
Yeah.
because think of it from like because a lot of comedians will be like, "Oh, fuck this," whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like. From his perspective, he just watched his brother get like made fun of, and everyone laughed on his
Sure.
brother's birthday.
Yeah, but it's
So yeah, I'm gonna
First
fucking
of all,
apologize.
I wonder how his brother got that head injury though. Maybe it was from getting in a fight
I
after
don't
show
like
defending
speculating.
the other
Let's
guy.
not
Like some
speculate.
some stupid shit. People are dumb.
car accidents.
If you're at a comedy show,
But that's
shut
a great
the
way
fuck
to
up.
diffuse that, though. That's fantastic.
just apologize, yeah. Because I could tell he was like upset, and then it was just like he's like, you just watch what like wanted to like
Yeah.
get
But
one
then,
in.
how was it after then? Was he just like, okay?
Oh, see, I think he left. Like he
Yeah,
was really
yeah.
pissed off.
yeah,
He was really
yeah,
angry.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I love
Like he wanted to fight me, but me apologizing, like not
Yeah.
diffuse, like because it didn't diffuse his anger.
Yeah,
but
you're
he
right.
had no reason.
my
So he seems it's probably a pretty reasonable. He's probably drunk too, and he's kind of like wanted to. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's
it
cool,
was
though.
more the fact that it was like that was
Yeah.
clearly being watched by
Yeah.
5 other
Yeah,
people.
I
That's
know.
what. And one was wearing a Yankees hat, and one was wearing a Fox Racing hat. And you don't see a lot of Fox Racing hats.
you
No,
know
you
that
don't.
guy's
It's a-
down.
Yeah, he was like,
Yeah.
no way I was gonna get one punch in.
This sounds like Kenora 100%. Just 100%.
Fucking Fox Racing hat.
All right. Ryan Williams, you're a fucking hilarious dude. We love you. You're
Dude, thank you
always
for
welcome.
having me. This is
always
so much
welcome
fun.
on the show, brother.
Fuck Steve McGowan.
Fuck Steve McGowan. Can we actually get you to tell us a little bit about your bi-weekly show on Granville Island?
That's right. Okay, so what's tomorrow? The 15th.
Tomorrow's the
14th.
The 14th.
Yep.
So tomorrow, March 14th, it's Full Pint Comedy. And what it is, it's the original creators of King's Head Comedy at the defunct King's Head pub.
So every Tuesday.
Every second Tuesday.
second Tuesday.
Every second Tuesday, me, myself, and James Kennedy bring you Vancouver's best stand-up comedians with
Killers.
with a paid headliner. It's at 9:00 it's at the Granville Island Tap House. So it's the tasting room at Granville Island Brewery, and what they have on for this event is they have their special small barrel beers, the ones that you can't buy in stores, you can only buy at the Tap House, on for $4.50 for a 16 ouncer or $5.50 for a real measured out pint.
That's rad. Wow.
So 9:00. Please, if you're gonna come, I would recommend 8:30. We do kind of fill up, and covers only $5. Yeah, and we bring you a professional headliner and some of the city's best comics and out of towners stopping in. So
Just pure killers, and everyone involved, we definitely co-sign the fuck out of them. They're all good people. We love it. And if you guys are checking out drinks and you like to drink, make sure you go to Off the Goddamn Rail, which isn't the website, but offtherailbrewing.com.
yeah, it's Vancouver, man. You get stuff that's brewed in this part of the country.
Yep.
It's all good.
We're really happy to have you join us.
No more
We appreciate
paps.
it. How can people follow you if they want to follow you?
I'm on Twitter at Ryan or not. And then they're like there's 9 Ryan Williamses. One's a professional golfer in Abbotsford, and every time he wins a tournament, I'm like, oh fuck, you're more famous than me.
Yeah, you gotta
I just want to be the most
out-famous them.
famous
Yeah.
of Ryan Williams in the Lower
Definitely.
Mainland. That's my only goal.
Definitely.
Dub and Co.
Yeah.
There's a 9-year-old swimmer from Australia.
Lighten it up.
She has my name. And she's just
The
killing
same
it.
spelling?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Wow, that's good. I
So
like that.
I just want to let her know right now. Coming for you, bitch.
She sounds real nice, actually.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write her a letter. Apologize.
Yeah, and then you can also at Steel Toes Pod on Twitter.
Yes.
So for
Now,
for
if I'm gonna let you promote it on the show, that means it's really coming back. Right?
well, we have 2 episodes in the bank at the very least.
yeah,
so
dude.
those will at least
yeah.
come
There you
out,
go. There you go.
All right.
regardless if the world
This
ends.
was all worth it, Ryan.
And at Podcast Rescue.
Oh,
is,
yes.
is
Right.
the podcast.
Yeah, for sure.
Host Stefan Heck and
Chris James.
Chris James, yeah.
I like Chris James, and I haven't had the pleasure of meeting the other guy, but
Stefan Heck's super. I think it's at Boring as Heck on Twitter. He's like kind of like a Twitter personality. He's
that's
super
dope.
funny. Yeah.
That's dope, man. And you're producing that.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Along with Gavin Matz, who's rival producer.
I like rival producer.
Yeah, it's not really a collaboration. It's just kind of more of
heat.
yeah.
That's how you
Very
get. That's how you get the
Very
best
good.
results.
And you can follow us on Twitter, and you can find out when the next live podcast on ChatterTube, ChatterTube's only podcast.
I love that you guys have that deal. That's fucking hilarious. Okay. If you guys wanted to follow the podcast, you can do so by following us on Instagram and on YouTube and on Twitter. No, not Twitter.
Nope.
On YouTube and on Instagram and on Stitcher and on iTunes.
Facebook.
Someone told me this week that they get us on another one of those podcast aggregates like Podcast Addict or Alley or whatever.
Pocket
the fuck.
Casts.
Pocket Cast. We're on like every goddamn format you could think of. Just go out there and grab
We're
it.
there.
It's super easy. We're the only intergalactic interviews. And if you like it, leave us a review. We'd fucking love that big time. And if you're a jaded flat earth theorist out there that's upset of the way I handled the interview with Kyle McDonald the other day, keep it up. Just keep us letting us know how wrong we're doing it. I love
Keep
it.
it flat.
Yeah, I think those comments will worm their way into my soul someday, but not yet. You gotta keep.
Also,
working
Flat
for it.
Earthers, if you're still listening, just at Ryan or not. I also think your idea is stupid.
Yes.
Just throwing that
Very
out there.
much.
Saavedra, how can people follow you if they want to do so?
Follow me at the Saavedra on Twitter or Michael A. Saavedra on Instagram.
Sweet. And CMart, if people are so inclined, how can people follow you?
Definitely not a thing. Still.
I like that. I'll take it. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you watching and subscribing to us. And if you guys view us every week, we love it. And we love you for even giving us a shot. So in the fucking hope that we don't lose our guest next week, I won't announce them. And that's how we're going to end this. All right. We love you all. See you next week.